hardly anyone has a truly healthy sexual libido. I'm trying to explain to you the techniques of social engineering that are used to distort healthy sexual attitude and libido in women that are used against them that most men want to champion. And we think we're going to develop some kind of fucking healthy psychology regarding it when this is what's beaten into fucking young children's heads from the minute they're out of the womb? I'm telling you, most guys are 100% obsessed with how many past partners women have had sexually. And then there are the women who learn to hate sex so much that they actually never experience orgasm. If I show you the list of responses in the body that get improved and become healthier with a healthy sex life, you would not even believe how much damage is caused by people going asexual. That's what epi-eugenics is. Conditioning people through mind control to breed a weaker next generation down into the public so that they're easier to enslave. When I'm talking about the hyper-sexualization of our society and quote-unquote slut-shaming being done by women who want to take a very puritanical view of human sexuality. It's a sick, demented, false religiously based puritanical viewpoint of sexuality, period, and human libido, which, once again, if you look at the actual physical data regarding the sex act in and of itself, there are so many avenues for the betterment of health. When I told you we have mind control and social engineering techniques into hyper-sexualizing mostly women, and then shaming them if they do develop an actual healthy libido, I never said or encouraged anyone to quote-unquote engage in promiscuity. Promiscuity is random acts of sexualities with strangers with no restraint. I never said to men or women, go out and engage in that behavior. I said hardly anyone has a truly healthy sexual libido or general sexuality or general healthy sex life because of the puritanical and religious beliefs and New Age beliefs that are embedded in their mind from the social engineers. They include things like sex is evil, sex is dirty, sex is the original sin, women who have more than X sexual partners or sluts, other women slut-shaming other women if they've become aware that they have X many sexual partners, regardless of what that arbitrarily chosen number is. Another thing is the whole New Age view of sexuality, which puts this erroneous, false notion that is not backed up anywhere, either psychologically or physically or spiritually for that matter, that every person you ever sleep with, you've slept with everyone they've ever slept with. This is a bullshit notion to continue to promote puritanical ideas of sex based on bullshit religion. That does not mean I am championing promiscuity. I am trying to get the mental conditioning that conditions people into having completely fucked up, deranged thoughts about healthy human sexuality out of their fucking completely deranged mindset that's brought on by religion and social engineering and the New Age movement. Because of the social engineering and conditioning techniques and religious bullshit and New Age bullshit, we have a society that is obsessed with the idea of sex and has no actual healthy sexuality and libido. If you think that's not the culture that we have, there's nothing that can be done for you because you have no powers of observation. There's no level of proving it to you. You just believe what you want to believe. This isn't a matter of an ad hominem attack with no data. It's proof that you don't engage life and you live in a fucking place where you don't actually go out and engage human beings and you believe the world is some other way than it actually is. You're dreaming. You're in the state that the occult world calls the dreaming state, where you don't even know what's been done in society because you haven't engaged with it. Women are hypersexualized in our media, in advertising, in pornography, and yet they are actively discouraged from having healthy sex lives and libidos through neo-feminist technique known as slut-shaming, through the New Age movement telling you everybody's a potential demon, and anybody who they've ever slept with, you're actually sleeping with that demon. I've actually heard this from fucking people in the New Age bullshit religion. The champion of all of it is sex is the original sin. No, sex is not the original sin. Moral relativism is the original sin. Get your biblical allegory straight if you're going to actually open your fucking mouth and show your ignorance. The original sin is taking unto oneself the knowledge of the difference between good and evil, instead of learning what the laws of the Creator actually are. That's called moral relativism. That's why we're in so much trouble. Imagine thinking the sex act is the original sin, instead of, something that brought every form of evil into the earth and put it all in one big shit ball and let it roll downhill until it picked up endless steam and crushed everybody, called moral relativism. You think sex is the original sin because your bullshit religion told you so, and you can't even grasp that it's an allegory for moral relativism. This is what I'm trying to explain is entrenched in the fucking minds of almost everybody in our culture when it comes to human sexuality. Fear as a method of control through media and popular culture is an ongoing theme in this kind of conditioning. It's everywhere. It's not just ongoing, it's fucking omnipresent. It's everywhere. This person from an anonymous forum said, I think the reason most women have unhealthy sexual lives is because they are trained to hate sex. I completely agree with that statement. Religion has trained them to do that. A lot of New Age thought has trained them to do that. Their parents have trained them to do that. Culture has generally trained them to do that, except if resources are to be gained. Then all of a sudden, it's a different ball game if somebody offers to pay your rent for the next 6 months. Then suddenly it's perfectly okay and a great thing. But the real genuine connection, which again, I'm arguing in favor of, not against, they have been conditioned not even to explore sexuality, the sex act, libido, connection with others. All it's about is a monetary transaction. Then it's fine. For every other reason, it's the devil. So I totally agree with that. Let's continue with what he's saying. When I was in school, our sex education classes actually taught us that sex was risky, and it could be, depending on diseases that are carried that are sexually transmitted, that quote unquote good girls withhold and avoid sex at all costs. Okay, he's explaining why. Not to say that there's no such thing as a sexually transmitted disease. It's certainly not as abundant and fear-inspiring as they want you to believe that it is. Once again, I'm not promoting promiscuity. Say, go out and have sex till you have a disease that you don't want. I never said it. I'm never going to say that. I'm talking about why people are so fearful of human sexuality, like they're fearful of death. We don't talk about the healthy dynamics of dealing with these things psychologically. Parents don't want to talk to their children. People don't want to talk to each other. Nobody wants to bring up fucking death. Preparing for it, psychologically preparing for it, etc. What I'm talking about here is, what do we have to do to even recognize what a healthy mentality is? We don't even talk about it, and we think we're going to develop some kind of fucking healthy psychology regarding it, when this is what's beaten into fucking young children's heads from the minute they're out of the womb. Then they go into school, they get it 10 times worse. They go into a fucking church, they get it 100 times worse. They go into the New Age movement, they're taught total fucking nonsense. It becomes 1,000 times worse. What this person is saying is, he's explaining why it is this way. What fucked it up? These are all the social engineering methodologies that fucked up a healthy libido in most human beings. When I was in school, our sex education classes actually taught us that sex was risky, that, quote, good girls withhold and avoid sex at all costs, and that men only want to use women for sex, and therefore we should be suspicious of all sexual interest, that sex will hurt, etc., etc., etc. This is still what's taught. This is what's taught in the home. This is what's taught in the schools. This is what's taught in the fucking churches. This is what's taught in the New Age movement. Not all of them, but to a large extent, this is still true. This is why people have a completely deranged mentality when it comes to human sexuality and libido. And guess what? It's mostly guys. It's even more embedded in the man's mind than it is the woman. I'm telling you, most guys are 100% obsessed with how many past partners women have had sexually, as if that's going to somehow completely override the dynamic of, do they know the difference between right and wrong? How are they engaged? What are they doing? What's their drive to educate their fellow men and women? No. How many people did you ever have sex with? Oh, more than 5? I'm out. I actually hear this This is all over men's forums because this is all religious bullshit. Once again, if you translate that to me saying women should go out and randomly have sex with random strangers indiscriminately, you're a moron. You haven't actually heard the words I'm saying. I'm trying to explain to you the techniques of social engineering that are used to distort healthy sexual attitude and libido in women that are used against them that most men want to champion instead of fucking realizing this is a satanic fucking technique to distort thinking and to distort health, and you don't get it. This is who I've gotten this blowback from men. Mark, you're trying to say that women should just have 1,000 sexual partners before the age of 21. My religious text told me that that's the devil. You're just championing women's promiscuity and trying to say they should become prostitutes and whores. This is the fucking level of moronity that I get thrust in my face every week after doing a show. You don't see any of that lazy fucks out in fucking internet land watching this as an intellectual curiosity instead of helping me deprogram motherfuckers. This isn't supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be how much of a joke humans are. This is a cry for help on my fucking part to get up off your lazy fucking asses and get people to fucking rearrange their fucking thought process so they can actually hear what's being said. And you guys aren't doing it and you're not fucking helping because you're just fucking lazy and you want your life to do what you fucking enjoy instead of taking part in this effort. There is still the very strong idea that women who like and want sex are slutty and undesirable. This is everywhere in our culture. And then there are the women who learn to hate sex so much that they actually never experience orgasm, meaning that even when they do have sex, they do not enjoy it, and so they eventually avoid it altogether. Absolutely. And let me tell you something. This is such a significant portion of women in our entire civilization. It's so much more than you think or believe. The real number is approximately just slightly less than 50%. Slightly less than 1 in 2 women cannot even enjoy the sex act to the point where they actually achieve orgasm. That is tragedy. That's what religion does. That's what the New Age movement does. That's what social engineering does. That's what other women who slut-shame women do. Then you want to wonder why your health is ruined. If I show you the list of fucking responses in the body that get improved and become healthier with a healthy sex life, you would not even believe how much damage this caused by people going asexual. This is a health crisis. And then you'll hear people say, Mark wants the population to explode. Who said have unprotected sex? Who said have indiscriminate sex and just make children rampantly everywhere and let's explode the population of fucking dumb people? You think I'm going to champion that? If you don't understand that in the modern day there's a million fucking methods of preventing a child from being born, not going out and having an abortion, because if you're not responsible enough to take measures not to have a fucking child, why are you having sex? This is what people do. They'll have sex unprotected, then go get an abortion. And I'm not championing that either. I think abortion is morally wrong. I hear other people, Mark, you said consensual sex between partners is okay. What about children? Do you think I'm teaching fucking morality? Do you think because I left the word, it's gotta be between 2 consenting adults, that I may have not mentioned that 1 time out of 1,000, that I think, go ahead and have sex with children? Are you fucking retarded? Of course, sexuality and the sex act has to be between fucking consenting adults, and don't bring children into it. That's why I'm fine with people being gay, I'm fine with people being lesbian, I'm fine with people being transsexual. I don't care about what your sexual orientation or preferences are. Do it between 2 consenting adults. Don't involve children. It's not that fucking hard. Fucking people that want to fucking rape. How is that attractive? Somebody not wanting you to be with them and you want to fucking rape them. And then people would say that person doesn't deserve to get put in the fucking ground. How hard is it to just leave fucking children out of fucking sexual activity? And then people want to say pedophiles don't belong in the fucking ground. Please. Like I've said a million times, when people get rapey, the people who they rape should get shooty, or who they attempt to rape. When they involve children with it, they want to be pedos, then other people should get shooty and put them in the fucking ground. It's not that difficult. These are not sexual orientations, they're crimes. This person posted this and is explaining part of this social engineering dynamic when it comes to how women view their own libido and how it destroys their sexual lives in their adult lifetime. Women who can't see this are doing harm to their very self. Men who can't see this dynamic when it comes to satanic mind control regarding human sexuality are so brainwashed that they are actually hurting all of their interests in society because they're letting all of the women continue to be conditioned in this way, and they are making them, through the Satanists, continue to breed down weaker and weaker and more mind-controlled fucking children, who then grow up to be weak and mind-controlled adults and repeat the cycle all fucking over again. That's what epi-eugenics is. Conditioning people through mind control to breed a weaker next generation down into the public so that they're easier to enslave. And the men can't see this because they're not men. They're fucking little boys, and you're fucking victims of this fucking process, and you never unfucked your mind from it. That's the problem, little boy. You never learned your satanic master's technique that was done to your own fucking mother to shit you out and weaken you down into being a little fucking boy throughout your whole adult life. You can't see what was done to you. How are you going to see it being done to other fucking people? You haven't unfucked your mind and gotten out of that condition. The next dynamic is sex as money, which I've reiterated over and over. This is almost all sexual interaction that does occur in our society is viewed as. It's just a monetary exchange. They've weakened and dumbed down the actual act of nature in its natural element to this is going to be an interaction for fucking fiat bullshit shit money that isn't even fucking real. It's not even going to be for any actual, real, inherent, intrinsic value. No, it's just going to be for fucking toilet paper fiat dollars. And this is almost all sexuality in modern day satanic fucking culture has been boiled down to be. And guess what? I'm going to say things that you are going to think are completely contradictory to this. I'm going to say things that you will hear and you will not understand because you're never thinking about it from the satanic social engineer's perspective. You don't understand why they want it like this, and then you don't understand why they make other things illegal because you can't see it from the chess master's perspective because you're not as smart as they are. To the manipulated, socially engineered woman, sex has largely become a form of commerce, a business transaction only. The desire for money has become completely tied up and twisted into the motivation for any type of sexual relationship. The mindset of this conditioned woman goes something like this. If I have sex with this man, what resources can I continue to get from him long term? Men chase so hard after money for this very reason. That's why most of them do immoral fucking jobs. Don't you see the connection between the woman's desire for resources and the man's desire to continue to do immoral fucking jobs for a paycheck like the fucking rat fucking immoral order follower that he is? You don't get it. Men chase so hard after money for this very reason, to attract women who want money. Both genders still continue to prop up money as the most powerful religious belief system on this fucking shit ball of a planet. And you can't get idiots to see it. It's just nature, Mark. That's just the traditional rules. The woman wants to be safe and have the resources at her disposal that she'll need to raise a child, while the man's the provider. Provider of what? A fucking piece of toilet paper that ain't gonna fucking save your ass in any fucking situation unless you actually have real world fucking survival skills? You think these fucking jerk-offs have any survival skills? What's the woman gonna do when she gets a guy with a lot of money who can't fucking keep her safe when somebody's shooting at them? Who can't fucking keep her safe when they don't even have any ammunition and somebody's coming with a fucking machete to cut your fucking head off? A lot of intrinsic value in that toilet paper. Good luck with that shit. Like I say, they're dodos. It's the perfect term. Dead on day one in a collapse. You're gonna be a dodo because you're gonna go extinct just like the fucking dodos, and you're gonna be dead on day one. You're gonna be a dodo because you're gonna be with some clown that ain't gonna be able to keep you alive for 30 fucking seconds. Good luck with that. You'll figure out what all that money will get you then. You'll figure it out like that in an instant. A great deal of socially engineered women have come to generally accept that sex, from a man's point of view, is just the same whether it is part of an intimate relationship or he is paying a call girl or prostitute for it, believing that since the biological act is the same, that they carry an equal value in a man's mind. That's a very complex dynamic for people to understand because they've never even considered it. And here's what I'm going to say that is going to seem contradictory. The main reason, certainly in Western culture, but pretty much all over the world, that this attitude regarding sex as money continues is for one reason and one reason only. And I'm going to hit you with a nuclear bomb in the last 15 minutes of this show. So get ready, because most people do not understand this concept. And they're going to fight and argue and fight and argue, and you're never just going to be able to see it from a common sense perspective of how the satanic state does what they do to put people into a frenzy of fucking competition and fighting and fucking fighting each other and bringing each other the fuck down and making each other fucking dumber, making each other more unhealthy, and never, ever, ever once going after them or realizing even what they're doing psychologically to people, because you're just too fucking dumb to get it. What makes this go away entirely is the legalization of prostitution, because then sex as money in a true dynamic interpersonal relationship goes away. Because if a man can go and safely have sex with a prostitute for his resources, how is a woman coming in and conditioning a man to do what she wants him to do or be like how she wants him to be and say, give me your resources? The guy would laugh at that situation, and sex for his resources that has nothing to do with an interpersonal relationship would be readily and abundantly available. Most women's poor behavior toward men would go away instantaneously, and they would have to actually bring something inherently valuable to the table in an actual relationship. If prostitution is legal, that would happen overnight in the snap of a fingers. I'm correct about that dynamic, and if you see it any other way, you're satanically conditioned. You don't even understand what has been done through the illegalization of prostitution. You don't even understand that has damaged the social relationship and familial relationship between people, because most women are doing in society through their sexuality is actually playing the role of the prostitute in a false just for sex relationship, as long as they get the resources that they're craving, instead of actually bringing true, inherent, and dynamic interpersonal skills and interpersonal characteristics to bear by illegalizing and making it a black market thing. What they have done is actually made more women in society act like a prostitute rather than have an actual institution of prostitution that men could go at any time with money, safely have sex for money, and not make that a crime, where there would be far less sexual frustration. There would be far more real, genuine interpersonal dynamics. Hardly any woman would be able to go up to a man and say, you do what I want and you'll get some sex. They wouldn't be able to condition them like that. They'd be laughed out of the room. No one sees it like that. And do you know who mostly doesn't see it like that? Dumb men. Very, very stupid men with prudish and puritanical religious beliefs rattling around in their fucking mind-controlled cage of a mind. There's the team of guys that I'm talking at and telling you how fucking dumb and retarded you are. My religious text told me that prostitution is an immoral act, and that can't happen in our society because it's bad. My pastor told me so. Who did Jesus befriend and hang out with? You are a priest's fart breather. You got your mouth jammed in a priest's asshole and you're just breathing in the farts that he's fucking blowing in your face. You fucking religious losers. Fuck you. Fuck your bullshit religion. Fuck the Pope. I'll knock the fucking Pope out unconscious. This is what we have, is drooling retards still still believing that prostitution is somehow immoral. No, rape is immoral. No, pedophilia is immoral. Prostitution is not immoral. It's a willing, consensual choice of an exchange of sex for money, which is where it belongs. It belongs in that institution. It belongs in that job. It doesn't belong in regular society where people are trying to interact naturally with each other, moron. There is a difference between a man wanting sex and a man wanting a relationship. And nobody wants to talk about that. They want to intertwine it and completely knot it the fuck up and then make it all about what resources can this person provide for me because I have no intrinsic fucking skills or value. How many women would stop treating a man like a fucking ATM if prostitution were legal? It would go away in 10 seconds. The attitude of seeing sex as money would go away if prostitution were legalized. Morons. And you guys can't see it like that because you're puritanical fucking losing scumbag, demented, defective fucking mental apes. In the freedom movement, this gets the most flack. You're not even on your own team, you fucking prick. You can't see how the social engineers set it up to be that way and pushed women into acting like fucking prostitutes. Let prostitutes be prostitutes. Let women be women. You can't even see that. You're so fucking dumb. How could you say something like legalize prostitution, Mark? My Bible tells me that that's wrong, even though the person who I think is God, the Son of God in the Bible, hung out with prostitutes. Retard. The Satanists inverted everything in society. They'll remove being able to just say, I want the sex act for an exchange of money, and they've got all the women playing the role of fucking prostitute on your fucking sorry ass. That's what I said last week. Could you imagine me being fucking psychologically manipulated by a woman trying to play me for resources? You would get laughed so hard out of the room that you might get physically hurt from the laughter. This is how dumb all you fucking moronic men are. That you've totally fucking, for your puritanical bullshit religious reasons, you've totally bought into the fucking social engineering of the neo-feminist fucking epi-eugenics agenda. And now they got fucking women who are actually prostitutes all over fucking society and then playing the role of the prostitute to get in a legitimate relationship. Could you imagine that? And you guys are so fucking pussy fucking chasing that you're willing to fall for it and let the relationship be that. That's how dumb you are. We could never legalize prostitution. We could never legalize substances. There are masters that get to tell us what we do with our body. Fucking morons. I'm trying to delineate between the sexual dynamic in a genuine relationship, which matters, versus an exchange that doesn't matter. It's fulfilling a biological need, and there isn't emotional attachment involved in that. Versus, in a real, genuine, familial dynamic, it should matter. Our society is so fucking unhealthy and twisted up with all kind of fucking nonsensical beliefs growing out of bullshit religion, bullshit statism, bullshit new ageism, that there is no healthy aspect, there's no healthy libido and dynamic in any of these kinds of relationships, whether it's for fucking money, whether it's just an exchange, whether it's in a real relationship or not. You don't know what health is. You don't know what fucking something being in its proper natural aspect is. That's how fucking dumb you people are.